Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am scrapbooking this photo, which isn't much when you first look at it. This is Alex asleep in our Uber when we went to Disneyland together. So yeah, I am going to be using this piece of paper, which is a paper from Chamel, and I'm going to do a little stenciling on it. So if it turns out horrible, it turns out horrible. Really have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I need to get this layout started, so let's see what I can do. All right, so I've gone ahead and trimmed down this blue paper that came out of my kill kit, and I'm trimming it down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I actually trim it down to just 4 1/4 and leave it as a 12-inch strip because the 6 1/4 is kind of where my guillotine trimmer curves, and there really isn't a mark for 6 1/4. So it's easier to just do it by sight instead of measuring it. And then I'm going to put it over top of a pink mat as well, just because I want to have this double layer mat. So since I have gone ahead and stenciled the hexagons over top of the map paper, which you did not see, so I didn't even realize that my camera was not recording until I got a phone call from my husband, and I looked up to see if it had kicked the camera off, and apparently I never pressed record. So I just used some sapphire ink from Close to My Heart with my blending brush and just put some color through it just to give it a little bit of texture on top of this layout. So this layout already has wavy lines where the water is, but I felt like I just wanted something a little bit more on there. And sometimes that's all you need for a stencil, is to just give it just a tiny little bit more. So I decide that this little zigzaggy paper is not enough of a base to go ahead and have my photo on it. I feel like I just needed a little bit more color and a little bit more excitement here, especially since there is so much white in the photo. Like, it needed a little bit more of a pop. And I'm kind of keeping it with these orangey, peachy red tones, in addition to the wood grain and the blue that is on the paper. So I'm trying not to introduce too many colors with this. So my title is going to be, I Believe He Is Excited, and I just decided to go with that title because I had this Believe acrylic piece in the kit, and I thought, you know, when I first got this acrylic piece, it is pretty sure it's a Fancy Pants, and it's been in some Christmas kits a couple of times, but for some reason it just doesn't end up being used during Christmas, so I figured this was a perfect opportunity. Now, I was going to use that Love This square sticker, however, it was a little bit too yellow from the colors I wanted to keep in. I thought that this cork ticket would work because cork and the wood grain kind of have a similar color, you know, the whole brown thing going on, but I didn't like it. So now I'm just trying to mess around and figure something out because I really have no idea what direction I'm going in. All I knew is I wanted to do a little bit of the stencil over top the background page, and then beyond that I'm like, I have no flipping idea. So I decide that I'm going to use a couple word stickers because when in doubt, decorate with text. So I have Our Happy Place and Live Your Best Life, which, you know, is totally appropriate for going to Disneyland, right? So now I am going to figure out the title a little bit more. I grab my small letter stickers and I grab these khaki colored tile stickers. They are Studio 112, which honestly, guys, I don't remember which big box store Studio 112 comes from, but I'm just going to spell out I and he and is. So I believe he is, and then I'll get excited down there. Of course, I am going to use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to get some glue down on the acrylic piece so it can kind of layer up here. And then I'm just going to grab the eye sticker and place that down as well. And then I'm like, okay, so I don't want to add tile stickers for the word excited because I have tile stickers elsewhere. And then I thought, oh, I could do this. I believe he is excited to get to our happy place or something like that. But once I figured out which letters I wanted to use for excited, like I thought about the gold for a minute and I was like, no, let's not do that. And then I thought about this deeper red color, and this was my original choice, the deeper red color, but I didn't have enough of the letter stickers to actually spell that out. So I got the lighter red color, and I start by spelling it backwards. So the last letter I place down is the D, and that's going to give me my spacing. So if you know that you want your word to end in a certain spot, spell your word out backwards. Now, excited was a word that I didn't have a problem with spelling out backwards, so I just went ahead and used my stickers. Sometimes if I have like a super long word or I'm trying to figure out spacing exactly, I will write down the word on a piece of paper and kind of eyeball and finagle around to see where that letter needs to go. But in this case, I just knew this is where I wanted it to end. So I go ahead and get those down. Now, I don't have any Nouveau Deluxe adhesive on these stickers right now. I'm not going to put any on these stickers. I'm going to put this in my pile that I will go through at the end of the month. And if anything is popping up or loose, I'll add glue at that time. So, and I don't know if you can hear it, but right now I'm rubbing my finger over the letter stickers as well, just trying to get that really good adhesion down. I decided that I didn't want to make it a longer title than I already had, so I decided to put our happy place and live your best life over here at the top of the photo. And then I'm going to create a visual triangle, and I'm doing this on purpose because I really want the photo to be framed. And there is like I've said before, guys, there is a ton of white on this photo. So I felt like I needed to kind of bring your eye in so that you know that this is what you're supposed to be looking at. So there it is. Now, I find these little die cut flowers in my SCT sampler kit, and I think this is July's kit. I'm pretty sure this is July's kit. And luckily I had 3 florals in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and figure out where I want the florals to go on the layout. I went with the more leafy one up here at the top because I could have it poking out from behind the photo, and there was enough of a hangover that I could kind of make it over top the photo mat as well. And then the flower that I chose to place near Believe, it nestles so beautifully in there with the ascender of the L and then like the lowercase letters lower. So I'm just ridiculously happy how that turned out. I decided to go ahead and place on Oh Happy Day up here at the top, just to give this top area a little bit more lift and excitement, because that's a big expanse of blue up there. And I did not put a lot of the stenciling on that side. So if I would have thought about this a little bit more, I probably would have put the heavier stenciling on the right-hand side, the upper right-hand side of the page, just to give it a little bit more weight, because I did it over here on the left. And my original thought with doing that was I was going to have an arrow and like an X marks the spot where Disneyland is over here on the West Coast. But I went a different direction, so it just is what it is, people. But like, if I would have thought this was my original plan, the heavier stenciling definitely would have been on the right-hand side. So I just adjust my die cut floral here a little bit. I'm finding some little teeny tiny stickers to add around and, you know, just do a little bit more decorating on my page. I had this khaki colored sticker that says the best is yet to come. So then I'm just going to go ahead and layer up some more of these tiny little stickers that are pink and orange, since it's vibing with that whole pinky, peachy, deep color thing I've got going on. I do add on a khaki colored heart just to get that color up here at the top a little bit as well. I know it's just a tiny little whoop, like smidgen of the khaki color up at the top, but it works for me. I have it at the top and the bottom now, so I am completely happy. I go for my enamel dots, and I only have 3 of these cream colored ones left, so I decide I'm going to put wow, I can't even say that. I feel like I'm Nemo in anemone, and like he's like, don't hurt yourself, kid. So I throw the enamel dots in the center of the 2 flowers, and then I place one up here on that khaki colored heart. Now I decided I needed a little shining, shimmering, splendid on this page. So of course I grabbed my favorite super sparkly sequins from Brutus Monroe, and I'm going to dollop 3 little dots in each cluster, and I'm going to pop those bad boys down so that it gives me just a little tiny little bit of sparkle. Now I did think about adding a little bit more sparkle with like some washi tape maybe, and I was like, no, Sandy, like this is good. If you start adding too much else to the background, you're really going to lose the fact that you're trying to draw into this photo. And I mean, it's natural to look at this and want to look at the background because there's so much more going on the background than there is in the photo because of that big honkin' white space there. But you know, I tried to bring it in. I tried to bring your attention to the photo. I probably could have overlapped my title even on the photo on that white space, but I didn't think about it at the time. There it is, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again real soon for another video.